Chapter 1. The letter. If I had thrown it away, none of this would have happened. But I didn't. I read it, and I kept it. It was the kind of night where the world outside felt far away. Distant city sounds, swallowed by the steady drum of rain against my window. The only light in my apartment came from a single desk lamp, casting a warm glow over stacks of unopened mail and scattered papers. I was sorting through bills, electricity, water, credit card, the kind of envelopes that make you sigh before opening them, when I heard it. A knock. Not the casual rap of a neighbor dropping by, not the impatient thump of a delivery driver. This was different, soft, measured, like whoever was knocking didn't want to be heard. I froze. The sound seemed to stretch in the silence. Another knock, the same deliberate rhythm. I rose slowly, my bare feet soundless against the wooden floor. My apartment felt suddenly smaller, like the walls were leaning in. My fingers hesitated on the door handle. When I opened it, the hallway was empty. No one was there, but on the floor was an envelope. It lay at the threshold as if placed with care. My name was written across the front in elegant, slanted cursive, Amara. The handwriting stopped me cold. It was beautiful, deliberate, every letter drawn with patience. But it was not Daniel's. I bent down, feeling the heaviness of the paper between my fingers. Thick, quality, something that belonged in another era. The back was sealed with deep red wax, pressed with a crest I didn't recognize. Two shadowy figures intertwined in a way that made it hard to tell if they were embracing or pulling apart. For a long moment, I just stood there in the doorway, the envelope in my hands, rain whispering against the windows. My mind whispered, "Don't open it." But curiosity, it's a quiet, dangerous thing. The wax gave way with a soft crack. Inside, a single sheet of cream-colored paper, folded in half. The same careful handwriting filled the page, but the message was only 2 short lines. "Amara, I know what he's hiding. You deserve to know the truth, Dee." I read it once, twice, 3 times. With each reading, my chest grew tighter. The words didn't change, but the weight of them sank deeper. What he's hiding. Daniel, my fiancé, the man who'd slipped a ring onto my finger 6 months ago in front of our friends and promised me forever. I laughed, a short, sharp sound I didn't recognize. This is a joke, I told myself. It has to be. But my hands wouldn't stop shaking. The rest of the night, I tried to ignore it. I cooked dinner. I folded laundry. I answered emails. But the letter sat on the desk like an open wound, pulling my eyes back to it over and over. I barely slept. The next morning, I tucked the letter into the top drawer of my desk before breakfast. Daniel was already at the table, his coffee steaming, his phone in his hand. "You look like you didn't sleep," he said, without looking up. "I'm fine," I replied, pouring myself coffee. "Just work stuff." Finally, he glanced at me, just a flicker of his eyes, and then toward the desk drawer. It was so quick I almost missed it. Almost. But the way his jaw tightened, the faint shift in his shoulders, I felt something in my stomach twist. We ate in silence. That evening, when I returned from work, the air in the apartment felt wrong, too still. I walked into the study. The desk drawer was open. The letter was gone. I called Daniel's phone. It rang twice, then went to voicemail. I called again and again. No answer. Panic crept up my throat. I grabbed my keys and drove to his office. The building was dark, the parking lot nearly empty. His car wasn't there. No note, no text, no explanation. By the time I got home, the rain had stopped, but the air was thick with that strange stillness after a storm. I didn't sleep. I just sat in the living room, staring at the door, waiting for the sound of his key in the lock. It never came. The next morning, I opened my mailbox. Inside, there was no stack of envelopes, no junk flyers, just one thing, a cufflink, silver, heavy in my palm, engraved with his initials, DR, no note. I stood there in the dim light of the hallway, the cold metal biting into my skin. Somewhere, far down the hall, I thought I heard it again, that soft, deliberate knock. I spun around. The corridor was empty, and in that moment, I knew. The letter wasn't just a warning, it was an invitation, an opening move in a game I didn't know I was already playing, and I had just taken the bait.